that, we will head upstairs to the production studio. The production studio is where the students have spent the last 4 months of their time here. 6 months for you guys. Yeah, 6 months. And they've been working on their final project games and apps and a whole bunch of work, which you will get a chance to try out and see. And everything will make sense. Why aren't you coming home? This is why. And we also have some refreshments up there so you can relax and check all that out. And then after that, we'll be back down here for a more informal Oscar-styled awards show where you will get a glimpse of the many different kinds of projects these students have done throughout the course of the year. And now I'd like to introduce the first of our speakers, the head of the Games Web and Mobile program. After working in the games industry for 10 years at Microsoft and Sony Activision and Real-Time Worlds, this gentleman joined VFS about 6 years ago as an instructor in the game design program, and then about 3 years ago, he helmed the program of the Games Web and Mobile program. And as the head of department, his role is not only to help students throughout the course of the year, but then also as they venture off into their careers to continue to guide them. Please help me welcome our head of department, Peter Walsh.
Thank you, Tanya. So welcome, everyone, students, families, friends, viewers on the internet, staff. I was just thinking, wow, it's been a whole year since you guys started doing your dice game. Remember that, C#? I still have all of them on a hard disk somewhere, so in a few years we'll email them out to you guys. I'm not going to take up too much time tonight because we have some amazing student-selected speakers tonight, including the famous Scott Henshaw. And also, what can I say? How do I sum you guys up except wow? VFS raised the bar pretty high a lot, but I can say without any doubt you guys have achieved a spectacular success with how much you have crammed into this year. A couple of quotes I heard in the last couple of months about you guys and your compatriots and the GDs. VFS grads are the best I have ever seen from any school anywhere in the world, including universities like Full Sail, DigiPen, and others. That was from Tim Fields, the vice president of Caban, $360 million company. Here's another one. Amongst our more than 10,000 academic partners worldwide, Vancouver Film School has stood out year over year as one of our main partners forming professionals with relevant and high-quality market skills. Their hands-on curriculum and vast faculty knowledge of the tech, entertainment, and media industry has made them one of the most desirable programs in the world. That was from Unity, $1.5 billion company. And of course, Relic, our friends here in Vancouver, have been fortunate enough to hire a number of the students here. They come with a very comprehensive understanding of the development procedures and always hit the ground running. So these results, they come from the great staff here, but they come from you guys and the results you achieve. There's many schools out there, but none of them get the kind of praise for the graduates that come out like you guys. It's also why we signed never-before-seen partnerships with some of the best schools in China, India, and Latin America this year. That's why we were chosen by Crytek, AMD, HTC, and Leap Motion to be the location for Canada's first industry-sponsored VR lab, which is being put together right now, and it's going to be available for you guys to use too. We should have enough devices to rent out to graduates for free, lease up by the end of the year. So the level of interest in Vancouver as a premier destination for technology and entertainment development has reached a peak I've never seen before. We've had companies all over the world reaching out to us to help feed their demand for skilled software engineers, software developers. And the quality of VFS grads like you guys and the PG05s is spreading really fast. Including, for example, our new rendering engines instructor, the technical director from Activision, $15 billion company. He came because he saw your work on the production floor, and he was so impressed he wanted to come teach with us. I talked with Microsoft a couple of weeks ago. They want to make this campus the pillar of their new mixed reality software development center in Vancouver. So it's been a pretty amazing year. You guys are really catching the attention of the world. So VFS, the program here, PGWM, continues to engage in new fields of employment and open new opportunities for you guys. And because this is an evolving industry, it needs a new type of developer. Not a developer that knows how to just make games, or just make mobile phone apps, or just code web applications. They want it all. And not many people can deliver that. They want you guys, because you have everything and you can deliver. And what hiring companies nearby have fed back to me about grads in the PG program is that we have something very key that they like, It's not just an understanding of coding languages that comes out of people in short-term courses that are weeks long. We teach you how to think and solve problems. You're a solution provider. So once you start working, you provide solutions in every area of software development. No one else has that. From other schools, they need 3 people. They need a web developer, they need a game developer, they need a mobile developer. You guys are really niche with the skills that you have. So at VFS, you probably, the first thing you read before coming here was our line, results matter. And here we are. You guys are the results. You've proven that you matter, and you've caught the world's attention. So what are you going to do next? From my perspective, you have unrivaled portfolios of games, web, and mobile products. You've crammed 1,100 hours of education into a single year, an amount that's not often spread over 2 years at traditional universities. And my advice to you is take everything you know and use it. Gain the best positions. The school will deliver you the reputation to get them. Command high salaries, and work on world-changing products. Each and every one of you graduates tonight has been a big part of the VFS family for the last year. And even if you didn't see us all the time, we've been thinking of you. It's a proud moment for all of us to see you make this amazing leap out of the nest tonight. And normally, this is kind of where I would pass on to the next speaker, but I'm not finished. You guys are not done. I've got one more homework assignment for you guys. Your homework is this. It's not that hard. We have super high employment rates out of this program, so when you get that first job, probably in the next week or two, I want to know first. After your family, tell your family first. And then we'll tell everybody else. We'll get it up on our website. And connect to me on Facebook, because we have an alumni group. We track every graduate out of this campus for the last 10 years, and we will connect you with important people in industry. So connect with me, I'll get you in the group, and we can't wait to see where you go with your career. Congratulations, PG05s. We're genuinely proud of you. Now on with the show.
Our next speaker is someone the students selected from their class to speak on their behalf. Prior to coming to VFS, this young man was studying computer science before leaving his hometown in Mexico and moving to Vancouver to dive into the deep world of code. I'll call him Neo. He is fun and friendly to be around, and during the heavy time of production, he kept his classmates' spirits high by playing guitar to them in the production studio. It's quite adorable, I have to say. Please welcome student speaker Oscar Fuentevilla.
The world has changed. I can feel it in the water. I can smell it in the air. I can feel it in the earth. And it has changed for me and for you. We have made games. That alone by itself, it changes you. It's a big deal. People with programming experience, people who have never programmed before, have programmed games throughout this year and other really awesome apps. This changes you and the way that you see the world. Nevertheless, that is not all we learned. We have a bigger insight on what the industry is and have acquired great knowledge and a big sense of community, because ultimately that is what we are. A bunch of people who have a similar interests, but a widely different array of skill sets. Last summer, I did not expect this group of 15 to 17 programmers. I mean, I'm not sure about the number because the numbers changed along the year, so don't ask me about that. But I had no idea that we would have so many different skills. There's artists, engineers, more than that. There are also people who hit my phone and, pretended they didn't know anything about it. There are people who do not like cheese or hugs. People whose middle names we just found out last week. There's people we found out recently that they had a DJ career. There's Well, people would usually also insist that Robert always go first whenever we had presentations or whatever. Yeah, and we would sometimes go to other people's PCs, log into them, play a really ridiculous or annoying song, and then just switch user without logging off. And they would have to deal with that by either restarting the machine, just ignoring the sound and embracing it. I am proud of us because we all took risks on our projects. Some decided to use an engine they barely knew, and some expanded upon the one they already knew. There were people who decided to make a game on 2 different platforms at the same time because, PC is not enough, and that sounded easy enough. There are people who decided to make the most complex game they could and add a wide array of features because working with new people is always easy, There's other people who decided to make a game where they could have the biggest amount of people that they wanted playing at the same time. And yeah, that sounded simple enough, and they had fun breaking things. There's people who meddled with physics, creating their own collisions because they like playing God. Of course, virtual reality was also a big influence for some other people, and that's something that's really increasing nowadays in the industry. Some of us dabbled with one of the genres that instructors insisted that students would never nail down properly. We did awesome projects. And a couple of really bad ones because of our priorities and the time available to us. But that never stopped the risk extravaganza. We kept on at it, and I am proud of our risk-taking group of PGs, who happen to be the funniest people you could find in this building as well. Classes with us tended to include dumb jokes, laughter, and overall hilarity. I will warn everybody here that we will occasionally make fun of each other's countries and cultures. But that is only because we internally respect each other so much, and we have learned to have a positive outlook on life and problems that we may face. Even in the worst of times, where our projects will break whenever you would say Macbeth or the silliest thing you could come up with, we used to crack inappropriate jokes all the time. So if you hear something rude this evening, I would apologize to you, and no matter how horrible it sounds, I assure you it's with the best of intentions. It's just a display of affection. You should also be aware that we may also start singing this really weird Russian song. But I swear that ridiculous piece kept us alive throughout the hardest of times, and it kept us from losing our minds and helped us keep a certain grade of sanity. Thanks to it, we're still here. We are now allowed to have weekends. Real weekends, not those where you would be at school or working at home. We can go back to playing games and not just making them. We will probably catch up with a bunch of movies and series that we fell behind with. We will probably also take advantage of the Steam sale that started just today. So we apologize if we make some really ridiculous expenses. Although now that I think of it, that time might be spent looking for jobs or getting work permits here in Canada. But let's not talk about sad things. That comes later. You will all fail. Whoops. Doesn't sound very happy either, but that's the truth. We'll all fail more than once and feel that the world is crumbling beneath our feet. But we will rise again after that, and we will be successful. For that is the way of life in web development, and that is how this whole year has been. And we made it somehow. It is not a coincidence that we're all here. We are here because we fought for it, and because we had the interest and passion enough to be here in the first place. And we worked hard enough the whole year. And neither is it a coincidence that I started the speech with a quote from the Fellowship of the Ring, because in a way, this is where a fellowship disbands. Some of us will try to go rescue the halflings, others are gonna go try to destroy the One Ring, and some others are gonna come back to life after fighting a Balrog of Morgoth. But this is not the end. No, it is just a new beginning. Bonus Gandalf quote. And although going through the mines of Moria was a risky stunt, we still have our battles of Helm's Deep and Pelennor Fields ahead of us. I would like to thank all of you for sharing this bumpy ride with me where I had the time of my life, and I'm sure it's just gonna get better from now on. Thank you, instructors, for everything. You helped us learn what we didn't think we could, and I'm really grateful for that. You inspired us to keep on at it, and we saw the work you did, and then we just want to do the same thing now. Thanks as well to our families who supported us from afar, and everyone else who might have been part of this bumpy road for us. Thank you, colleagues. No more to say, it's impressive. The Game Developer Simulator has ended. We are all programmers. We are all game developers. So I say to you this day, let us fight for what we want and love. For Frodo, but especially for yourselves. You owe it to yourselves. For you.
The students are asked to select an instructor to speak on their behalf, someone to provide that last piece of wisdom, a look back at the year, or some insight into their future. For this, they chose instructor Scott Henshaw. Prior to joining VFS, Scott worked at Electronic Arts for 12 years before starting his own company called Kibble Games here in Vancouver. And at VFS, Scott covers courses such as web development and a whole bunch of other technical courses that you guys know more than I do. When he's not at school, you'll either find him in his hockey gear on the ice or gleefully putting together another of his infamous 200+ slide PowerPoints. Yeah? Nothing changed, right? Yeah. His tough love has shown students how much he cares for their success. We are very happy to have him be part of our team. Please welcome Scott Henshaw.
I don't have any fancy graphics for you. No big, long, deep slide decks. Nothing really crazy. You know, it's just that time of year where graduations are happening all over the place. They're happening for high school students, for university students, and for you guys here. So it's fitting today that I get to speak to you as graduates, finally. Similar, my oldest kids just graduated from high school. And I've learned that these days graduation is not so much as a single event, but an actual process. The other night I attended the last event in this process, the actual graduation ceremony. As that event unfolded, various school officials took turns to speak at a podium, and I realized that all of these occasions have the same few things in common. There will be speeches. There will be inspirational quotes. There will be opportunity to make social or political statements. There will be awards. Yeah. Okay, so here's the speech. The real reason we're here is all about you guys. You're the students. Your families, your loved ones, you're the reason we get to do this. Because it's about you, I'm going to skip the part where I make statements about politics or world events or human rights. These are all passions and pursuits that each of you in your own time will own and one day maybe even express in your own way. Instead, let's focusing on you finishing this stage of your lives and preparing to take the next step towards successful careers. I said there'd be inspirational quotes, and I can't help recall the one I heard most at this high school graduation. It was taken from Star Wars. Yoda, forgive me if I don't do the voice, said, "Do or do not do, there is no try." Now, I had a humorous thought while listening to it that future generations will remember students graduating in 2016. We're all quoting sage advice from some fictitious 2-foot-tall talking green puppet. It also occurred to me that those lines were first heard in 1980 in the theater when Empire Strikes Back was first released. But they weren't the only sage advice that were given. Much less famous, but much more applicable to you, Yoda was also quick to point out, and kudos to the writers and screen gems that they put together out there, Paul. There is what you know and what you have left to learn, nothing else. Now think about that for a second. This statement applies to everything we try and embody as software developers. Here at VFS, you've had the audacity to attempt something really challenging. You persevered in the face of adversity, continually gained new knowledge, possibly even a new way of thinking. You're limited only by what you can learn. If there's a single thing I hope you take away from all of this, it's that there's nothing you can't do, no problem you can't solve, no challenge you can't rise to. The only real barrier you have is what you have to learn and the effort you have to apply. Now, some would argue that even this is not true, but I'd suggest that you guys are all proof to the contrary. Each of you have a unique and dynamic set of skills to offer. At one time or another in the last year, each of you have had challenges to overcome. As you sit here today, having survived those challenges, all that remains is to ask one question. What problem are you setting out to solve next? With your newfound problem-solving skills comes new responsibility, which seems like it's eerily similar to something I once heard said to a kid in red pajamas. The world's going to rely on you to be creative and innovative and solve that next problem. It's not a passive thing either. The world's next problem won't just jump up and grab you. You have to seek it out and find it. To do so, I'm going to offer some advice. As you set foot out in the world, recognize that these problems are your opportunities. Your creative energy and the ability to solve problems is what the world needs, and you're amongst the best position to deliver it. To help, I want to put this in software terms you can now relate to. Here are the world's requirements. First, make a positive impact on as many people as you can. If all you ever do is take, you'll be replaced by a younger, faster, smarter version of yourself before you know it. Or you may end up teaching at VFS. Remember that the world expects more from you than love. Not that love is a bad thing or something to be avoided, on the contrary, but the world needs more than love. The world only cares about what it can get from you. Produce something. What you produce doesn't matter, and it doesn't have to make money, but it does have to have a purpose, and it does have to benefit people. You're only as good as the last thing you produced. Improve every day. Produce something better every chance you get. Don't be afraid to make mistakes as you go. Some of the best improvements in you can only happen after you make some mistakes. Own it, improve from it. Everything inside you will fight improvement. Improvement is hard. It takes effort, dedication, persistence, humility, and patience. Over the last year, you guys have shown effort, dedication, persistence, humility, and patience. Your personal productivity has multiplied many times. You've shown you are more capable than you ever imagined. The world seeks continual visual progress. Programming and developing software, creating apps, doesn't happen that way, though. Making continual visible progress is hard. Software development is this series of frustrating plateaus, followed by a few exhilarating moments when all the pieces you built all work together. But just for a moment. There's always one more fix, one more feature, one more thing to add. And remember that most software had not been imagined when your parents were born. You are the next generation to imagine. You don't need to change the world, just focus on a small part of it. Improve it, learn what you need to change that small part, and repeat. Work hard, fill your credibility bucket every day, and there's no limit to your success. The world expects you to be continually learning, and the truth is you won't get far on the knowledge you've learned this year. You'll get much farther on what you learn after you leave. This is especially true if you embrace the idea that the only thing standing in the way of you producing something great is the knowledge you have yet to acquire. Finally, while you've learned about patterns and data structures, languages, compilers, frameworks, engines, most of all you learn that nothing great happens without people. Learn how to work with people. Keep in touch with the people you shared this experience with. Support them when they need it. They will support you when you need it. It's been my honor. Thank you. Congratulations, people.
Now we will begin the Diploma Ceremony. So thank you to Peter, Oscar, and Scott. So line 1, please line up. And family and friends, feel free to walk around and take pictures. And at the end, after all the students have received their diplomas, we're going to have a group photo opportunity over here. So, once the diplomas are over, the students here will take you upstairs to the production studio for some refreshments, and so you can see what they've done. Eileen Braceros. Juan Cachafairo. Manuel Sabreros. Diego Espinosa Olivier. Javier González García. Yun Lin Huang. David Missel. Travis Nicholson. Row 1, please have a seat. Row 2, please line up. Augusto Restrepo. Oscar Rosales Puentevilla. Eduardo Rafael Sanchez Martinez. Sergio S. Rodriguez. Ulises Zamora. Takashi Fukuda. I'd like to pause for a moment. The academic structure of the game design program is rigorous, and students generally have 40 hours of classes, on top of around 30 hours of assignments and labs each week. It's more than a full-time job plus overtime, for 51 straight weeks. To graduate is a big achievement, and all these students should be proud of that. We're proud of that. These next two, however, have managed to keep their grades at a 90% average throughout the year. Please welcome our honor students. Robert Savenda. Felipe Carmona Cortez Bustamante. Come on up, PG05. So family and friends, feel free to walk around and take some shots. PG05s. PG05s, take your families and friends upstairs and show them what you've been up to. And then we'll see you back down here at 3:20.
We don't have a garden for
Oh.
Yeah.
Just open up and say,
Deja pasar porque ya nos quitamos las llaves.
¿Qué?
Ya nos quitamos las llaves. Tú. Bueno, la
Sí.